All right, let's pull back the curtain on something you probably use every single day, but maybe never even think about. It's kind of the unsung hero of our online lives, the secret handshake that keeps everything simple and, more importantly, secure. We're talking about SAML.
I want you to think back for a second. Can you remember a time when your entire work life online revolved around just one login? Yeah, one username, one password, and you were in. It was a much simpler time, wasn't it?
But, that is not our reality anymore. Not even close. Now it's just password chaos. We've got Salesforce for sales, Slack for team chat, Gmail, Dropbox. The list just goes on, and every single one has its own password, its own weird security rules, its own expiration dates. It's a total nightmare for us, and you can only imagine what a headache it is for the IT admins trying to keep it all straight. Thankfully, there is a solution to this madness: single sign-on, or what we all know as SSO. This is that magical feeling when you log in just one time, maybe at the start of your day, and then, poof, you can get into all your work apps without typing another password. It's smooth, it's efficient, and it saves us from that password fatigue. So how does this SSO magic actually work? Well, the secret ingredient, the thing that makes it all possible, is a protocol called SAML. You pronounce it SAML, and it stands for Security Assertion Markup Language. The easiest way to think about it is like a universal, super secure language that lets completely different systems trust each other and confirm it's really you, all without you ever having to share your actual password with them. Now, to really get how SAML works, we don't need to get buried in a bunch of technical jargon. Instead, let's use a really simple analogy. Just imagine you're on a night out and you're trying to get into this really exclusive event. Okay, so in this nightclub scenario, there are really only two key players we need to know. First, you've got the bouncer at the front door. In the SAML world, this is what we call the identity provider, or IDP. This is the one trusted source that checks your ID, verifies who you are. Think of things like Okta or your company's main login system. Then, you've got the VIP room. This is the service provider, or SP. That's the app you're actually trying to get into, like Salesforce or Gmail. So the bouncer checks your ID, the VIP room is where you want to go. Okay, so we've got our bouncer and our VIP room. How do they actually work together to let you in? Let's walk through that digital handshake, step by step, and stick with our nightclub analogy. So here's how it all plays out. You go to Salesforce, that's our VIP room. Salesforce sees you haven't been verified yet, so it sends you over to your company's login page. That's the main bouncer. Now here's the important part. You only enter your password for the bouncer. Once the bouncer confirms it's you, it gives your web browser this secure, digitally signed token. Think of it like a digital wristband. Your browser then takes you back to Salesforce and shows it the wristband. Salesforce sees that the wristband came from a bouncer it trusts, and boom, it lets you right in without ever having seen your password. So, that digital wristband we've been talking about, that is the absolute key to this whole process. Officially, it's called a SAML assertion. It's basically a secure message written in a special format that carries all the info the app needs. It's the bouncer telling the VIP room, hey, I've checked this person out. They are who they say they are. You can trust them. Let them in. Okay, so it's a really clever process, for sure. But why does it matter so much? Why have pretty much all companies adopted this standard? Well, it's because it creates a better and way safer experience for absolutely everyone involved. For us, the users, the benefit is obvious, right? No more password pain. But for a business, the security benefits are just massive. And here's the biggest one. Your actual password never leaves that super secure, heavily guarded identity provider. Salesforce never sees it, Slack never sees it, none of them do. This dramatically cuts down the risk because all those individual apps don't have to store your sensitive password. And on top of that, it's platform agnostic, which means it just works across tons of different systems, making our whole digital world play nicely together. This isn't just about convenience or making logins a little easier. SAML is actually a really fundamental piece of a much, much bigger shift in how we think about cybersecurity today. SAML is really a cornerstone for two huge ideas in cybersecurity. The first is something called federated identity. This is the idea that completely different organizations can trust each other's logins. Think about a partner company needing to access your supply chain app. They could use their own work login to do it securely. The second big idea is the zero-trust security model. This is a whole security philosophy built on one simple rule: never trust, always verify. With zero trust, every single request to access something has to be authenticated, and SAML is one of the key tools that makes that constant verification even possible. And all of this brings us to a really powerful idea. See, in the old days, we protected our data by building these huge walls around our company network. We called it a firewall. But now, with the cloud, with remote work, our data is everywhere. The new perimeter, the new firewall, isn't a network wall anymore. It's you. It's your identity. And proving who you are is now the most important job in all of security.
So SAML has made logging in simpler and safer than it's ever been. It's that invisible handshake that lets us navigate this complex digital world with basically a single key. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If we've already come this far, what's next? What happens when this whole process gets so seamless, so intelligent, that the very act of logging in just disappears completely?